Time now for Hawk Zone, sponsored by Muckleshoot Casino.
Welcome back to the show. And you know what? This is not the way the Seahawks wanted to come back after a bye week. They lose to the Raiders in overtime, 40-34. Ooh, brutal loss. Terry Holliman joins me now in the Hawk Zone. It's a tough one. But before we talk about that, let's talk about a nice win that you had over the Apple Cup.
Oh, yeah, we did. There was a game this weekend, wasn't it? The old Apple Cup. I don't know if anybody happened to catch that, but the Dogs happened to beat the Cats again, like usual, like normal.
Oh, ouch. That's a lot of... you know what? Maybe I wore a little maroon today to support them.
You did, and I didn't even wear my purple today. Like, I thought about it, but you know what? We took a beating last year, and this year we got a little payback. It's cool.
All right. Well, this is what I love about rivalries. However, we had no rivalry with the Raiders, really. We didn't even think that they were going to lose this game. We had a good chance to win.
Yeah, we did. This was a weird game. It went back and forth, and when you started off the game, you see the Seahawks started with an incredible interception on the first play of the game by Quandre Diggs, and I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. It's going to be a rout. You know, the Raiders haven't been having a very successful season, Amity, and I thought it was going to be a win for the Hawks. Nope, no such luck.
I mean, this was a tough one. You know, Juno put 34 points on the board, but it felt like the offense was out of sync. So when you go for a bye week, can it really just shoot off your rhythm?
It can. There's something that a lot of people don't take into consideration. A player on each and every team that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Yeah. And his name is Big Mo. And Big Mo, we mean big momentum. And when the Seahawks have been rolling this season, it's because of Big Mo. They've been able to build on each win week after week after week, and having a week off kind of sets that momentum back. Yeah. So hopefully this coming up week they can get that momentum back. But like you said, it looked like they were out of sorts this entire game.
Yeah, they couldn't run the ball, and they couldn't stop the Raiders' run. That does not make for a good combo.
It doesn't make for a good combo at all. The Raiders had a running game that was just incredible. They had a running back, Josh Jacobs, that went for over 303 yards total offense, had like a historic day as far as running the ball, and then he had a walk-off touchdown. So the Seahawks could not stop him, and it was just an incredible day for him, for Mr. Jacobs, a young guy, 24 years old, with that kind of production versus the Seahawks.
For a while, it seemed like the Seahawks had solved the run game issues, but now it seems like they're regressing, like this is unraveling a little bit. So, like, do you think, you would know, are our opponents watching film and kind of figuring out what's happening here and saying, let's target them right here?
Absolutely. I mean, that's part of the job as an NFL professional. You know, you get paid too, and you have to go in there and watch film and study and watch what the other team does successful. And obviously, Kenneth Walker III has had a successful season so far this season, so they tend to try to focus on what he does good and shut that down. They were able to do that. They were able to clamp down a lot of the holes, and the Seahawks weren't able to get anything going on the ground, left them pretty much one-dimensional, and the Raiders were able to capitalize.
And some more bad news. Last week, you had mentioned that your pick for most improved player was Ryan Neal. He left the game yesterday with an elbow injury. If he doesn't come back, how much will that hurt us?
It's going to hurt tremendously, because you think about it, we are down to our third safety right now. Originally, we had Jamal Adams at that position, who was, you know, already an All-Pro, and then we lost him for the season. Yeah. Ryan Neal starts to turn it on and get better and better each and every week. Then he goes out with an undisclosed elbow injury. They bring in a third-string guy now. You know, you don't want to detract from him too much, but he's third string for a reason. And he was able to, well, actually, we got exposed this past weekend at the walk-off touchdown. He should have made a tackle, a game-saving tackle at the end, but he didn't. But hopefully we can get Mr. Neal back in the fold and, you know, shore up that defense.
Is that just experience? You just lack of time on the field when you let something like that happen?
It's experience, and then also it's a little bit of communication and working with the, you know, at the defensive secondary, you kind of have to work as a unit. You're not just one guy out there working on an island. You have to be working with a group of people. So when you're working with somebody that you haven't worked with normally, it kind of makes things a little, you know, sketchy and questionable.
That's a really, really good point. That makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes that makes sense. Not all the time.
I mean,
but
you make sense to me all the time. That's why I have you talk to me about football, because then you make it make sense.
Thank you. I'm glad I can be here for that.
So next week, we're headed to LA. We're going to play the Rams for the first time this season. It's not going to be easy.
Here's the thing. Nothing is easy in the National Football League. They're all professionals.
Right.
They're all the best of the best. But again, they're in a situation like the Raiders. We thought that the Raiders weren't going to be very good, and they came and surprised us.
Okay.
The Rams have been not very good this season. They're coming off a Super Bowl win last year, but this year they've kind of imploded. Their quarterback is out. Their top receiver, Cooper Kupp, is out.
Okay.
Their top defensive line, Aaron Donald, hasn't been playing very good. They're coming off 5 losses, so it could be a trick game for the Seahawks because they always seem to not play well against the Rams.
I was going to say, I mean, I feel like whenever I hear the Rams come up, I get a little bit nervous because it's never actually really doesn't always turn out well. We don't do well traditionally against the Rams.
It doesn't do well. I mean, I don't know what the thing is. Maybe it's some mental block with the franchise or what it is. But, hopefully they can take advantage of some of the things that are going wrong down there in L.A.
Okay. On a fun note, I was really excited about this. The Seahawks showed a video inside Holliman Field that teased the return of their 90s throwback uniforms. I am here for this. I love the action green, but I love the old school.
That old school
totem
hawk right
hawk
there. Yeah,
is my favorite.
Yeah, he might not be my favorite, but I like him. I like him. It's a throwback to a better time in the 90s. Maybe not better as far as their record,
well, no,
but that's a 90s.
Better time we love
happy.
the 90s. We were doing good in the 90s.
Bring back Nirvana and Soundgarden. Bring back some grunge.
Bring back some TLC.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what I am saying. In Vogue, where are you?
So high creep.
Yeah, we're going to sing every time we have this segment, just so you know. But by the way, if you want real entertainment and not just us, watch the biggest MMA event in the Pacific Northwest this Friday, December 2nd at the Muckleshoot Event Center. The main event is Jimmy Funky Cole Molina versus tribal member Shane White Eagle, who was on the show once. Witness these brave fighters pound their way to glory. Get your tickets now before they sell out. Visit the website on your screen for more info. And thank you so much for spending time with us today. You can check our website for more content. You can always send us an email and share your thoughts. But most importantly, get out there and enjoy your new day. We'll see you next time.